Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the SG12 shotgun, which I guess you could abbreviate Shotgun 12 or Saiga 12 if you don't want to pay for the use of that copyright, but it is the semi-automatic spam shotgun in Black Ops 4. My voice is recovering a little bit from cedar fever today, so I should sound more normal than in the previous episodes. The damage on this weapon is significantly lower than what you would expect from most shotguns, at 44 up close and 25 at a distance. That's the base damage that is, and the per pellet damage has an enormous spread at 7 damage up close and 1 at a distance. So at a distance, the pellets are almost not important when it comes to how many of them you're hitting. Given this low damage, the SG12 literally cannot ever get a one-shot kill in core. If you are point blank and you stuff that barrel right in somebody's mouth and pull the trigger, if they have full health, you can't get a one-shot kill. More often than not, at very close range, it's a 2-shot kill, but in general, I think you should expect about 3 shots to kill with the SG12. It is not a very fast killing weapon overall. There are 2 ways to boost your damage output. Number 1 is the Laser Sight 2, along with locking your spread in place while you run around, also increases your pellet damage. It doesn't increase it a lot, it increases it to 10 up close and down to 2 at a distance, so your distance, especially long range pellets, are significantly better. And the max load attachment adds 2 pellets per shot, which can increase damage by up to 14 per shot if all of your pellets hit. You can stack this with Laser Sight 2, of course, and take that up to an additional 20 damage per shot. Neither one of these are likely to shave down your shots to kill a whole lot. I mean, it's kind of random. It depends on how many you hit, how much health the enemy has, do they have armor, the range, yada yada yada. But neither one or the other are must-have attachments. If I'm going to run one, I prefer max load just because it's simpler for me to understand. But I do have to admit that Laser Sight 2 is really fun, not for the extra damage, but for the very tight hipfire spread. You can see the test on screen right here, but tightening up the hipfire spread to body size means that I pretty much never have to ADS and I hit most of my pellets, but it also means I have to aim much better. I don't have that nice, big, wide, generous hipfire spread to get that guaranteed base damage over and over and over again, even if I'm aiming like an idiot. And when it comes down to it, the SG12 just isn't about boosting damage. It's not about max load or Laser Sight 2. It's about boosting spam. This gun is all about trolling and being annoying and breaking the meta, and those are things that I love, so I particularly like this weapon. And one of the things that does that super well is the Tactical Light Operator mod. It's super powerful and super annoying. When you equip this, instead of being able to aim down sights, you tilt your gun sideways and turn on the tactical light. It flashes over and over again really bright, much like the lights did in Battlefield 3. It can blind enemies to where they can't see you. It will also temporarily disable the enemy's auto aim, which really screws up their aiming because they'll be trying to track you and then the auto aim will just turn off and they'll swipe like crazy and miss. It can slow down NOMAD'S dog for a little bit. It can do a lot of really frustrating things, and it's probably the best thing to run on the SG12. Rate of fire is 200 rounds per minute, and that's spammy for shotguns. That's pretty normal for a spam shotgun, and it's just fast enough to where it's going to be annoying when you run into it on the enemy team. When it comes to recoil, unlike most secondary weapons, the SG12 just kicks all over the place. Every single shot you take is going to have a significant amount of aim down sights or even hipfire box kick and jump. You can tighten the spread with laser sights, and there's a recoil, there's a hipfire box reducing grip that'll cause less hipfire box recoil, but it's still going to kick. It is not a high accuracy weapon, and it really depends on you getting some shots at the periphery of your spread. Like the MOG-12, having optics on this shotgun are nice, they're good. I run them in Blackout, of course, but I can't justify the creative class points for them in multiplayer. I would just rather have other attachments or perks. And like the other gun, aiming down sights is always preferable to hipfire because you're going to be dealing a lot more damage and getting a lot faster or less shots to kill, more accurately, faster time to kill. However, I will say that with the SG12, sometimes hipfire can be better because sometimes you want to maintain your high degree of mobility and kind of screw up their aim and spam them down. This is definitely true with the tactical light where you literally can't aim down sights and you're depending on that aim getting messed up and your mobility to make yourself difficult to hit. Speaking of aim down sights time, that's 220 milliseconds, which is like really slow. It is not a fast ADS weapon. Just keep that in mind. It's not going to be very snappy at all. It's also not snappy when it comes to reload. That's 2.3 seconds on the reload, which is very slow. That's much more akin to perhaps the slowest of assault rifles. That's closer to sniper rifle reloads. That's a pretty rough reload right there, which is why you want to be running either extended mags 1 or 2. Extended mags 1 just makes the mag longer and you get 4 extra rounds. Extended mags 2 gives you 8 extra rounds and you get this big juicy drum round like the one Terry Crews uses at the end of the original Expendables movie. And having those extra rounds to just dump downstream continuously, randomly, and with complete disregard for personal safety is what makes the SG12 great. It's all about spam, so you definitely want to run extended mags 1, probably extended mags 2, and with these you won't need to reload as often anyway. When it comes to my overall opinion on the weapon, the SG12 can be a workable primary or secondary weapon. I think it's a pretty good secondary naked with no attachments. You can pull it out, and if somebody's weak, you can take them to Pound Town, and if not, it just kills reasonably fast up close with no attachments anyway. If you want to kit it out fully, it can work as a primary as well, and the primary fully kitted class that I'm going to recommend is called I Can't See Shit Captain. I recommend extended mags 1 and 2 for maximum spammability, tactical light, and gung ho. With this class, you can move around really quick and shoot quickly after sprinting, hip fire with gung ho. You can snap that tac light on and off really fast, and you have tons of bullets to dump downstream. And you're really mostly relying on the tactical light here. You're going to use this to disorient enemies, to screw them up, and kind of give them a hard time. If you're playing against really good players, they're not going to let you do this, and some players will break out their own tactical light and annoy you with it. But overall, this will kill a lot of people. Most people are not prepared to deal with this. The SG12 also works as an acceptable spam weapon in Blackout. It's a pretty decent backup weapon, and I will say I think it's much easier to use than any of the other secondaries. Like, I think the Mozu's amazing and the MOG is pretty nasty, but both of those require some degree of, skill, aim, precision. SG12, you don't really need that. You can just hip fire people into the ground and just keep on dumping bullets downstream. It's not that hard to do. And if you're under duress, if people are concussing you, if all sorts of nonsense is coming in, if you're panicked, if you're sweaty, sometimes having an easy weapon is nicer. I think it's very fun with extended mags instead of with the fast mags. And I also like long barrel because it gives me a surprising amount of damage over range in Blackout. So it's a decent pickup. I think having an SMG or a sniper rifle secondary weapon would be better, but if there's no other options, it's a very, very workable weapon in Blackout. Guys, that's all for this episode. I know it's shorter than usual, but I'm going to give my voice a rest and hopefully come back in a couple of days at full strength here. I'm about tired of cedar fever. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.